Welcome to Cadeau and Janko Wednesdays at Lunch Burger Edition. This week, Matthew and I went to Buffalo Bill's. Buffalo Bill's Wings, I think, is the full name of the place. Wings Buffalo Bill's? I don't know. The menu doesn't seem like it actually represents anything about this restaurant. Multiple locations around Montreal. There's one on Queen Mary, one in Verdun, one on Saint Jacques. Matthew, have you ever been to a Buffalo Bill's before?
I have.
And what did you think of Buffalo Bill's the first time you had gone there?
I was not impressed, Sebastian. Real dirty.
Yeah.
Real dirty location. We actually went to, not necessarily the same one I'd been to, but the one I had gone to shut down.
And they moved down to the one that we went to.
Yeah.
This is a follow-up location to that one. That one used to be on St. Catherine, right at the corner of Atwater, basically. And I feel like it had seen better days. I feel like maybe back in the days when that was a more happening area of town, that maybe they were a little more successful. Maybe they were they had 2 floors, and I'd never seen the second floor ever open. It just seemed like this weird sealed off area that maybe there was a dead body down there or something, a sarcophagus of some kind.
Sarcophagus.
and now they moved into a different location that actually seems, even though it's newer, dirtier.
Yeah, super sticky and strange. I think I told you that it seemed like they got all their furniture from maybe a Salvation Army, and everything was just kind of falling apart.
So Matthew, you arrived at the restaurant a couple minutes before I did.
Yeah.
What were your initial reaction or your initial thoughts before I walked in? Because I'd been there before under this in this current location, this current management. I think I feel like I've never seen the same people there twice.
No,
not that I go there very often, but still, I used to live around the corner from there, so I would pass by, and it always seemed like there were new employees or something going on there, something weird going on there. Yeah. So, what were your initial thoughts?
Well, I walked in, one employee at the cash, he called me chief and then disappeared.
Okay.
He was then gone for the next 5 minutes.
I do like the nickname of chief. I've always enjoyed that.
Why do you greet somebody, your only customer, and then disappear?
Just for the listeners to know, we're recording at Matthew's place, and there's a very young, playful cat running about. So you might hear some little jingle jangles and noises in the back, right there.
Super annoying. I should put his Ninja Turtle sweater on, and he'll just
turn into
slink
a ninja
to the floor.
He'll turn into a slow ninja.
Yeah, he won't understand how to get it off, and it'll just confuddle him.
Okay, so you were saying you're the only customer there, but he's just going to disappear for a few minutes.
Yeah, so that was it gave me time to look at the menu.
Mm-hmm. It's appropriate.
Yeah, there was.
I work in a restaurant. That's kind of what I do. I give a menu and I say, I'll give you a few minutes to take a look at that.
Yeah, there are so many things I didn't like about it. I don't even know where to start. Like, I don't like food items displayed in a terrarium.
That wasn't a terrarium. I've seen places that do put like samosas in a terrarium or something like that. Yeah. This wasn't that. This was like a food display case, basically, like you'd find at a pizza shop or something, but they had a bunch of fried chicken in there.
Yeah, it was just like tossed in there, and it was humid on the inside.
Yeah, it was not displayed well. But if it's fresh fried chicken, I imagine there would still be some humidity escaping.
Does anything about this place lead you to believe that would be fresh fried chicken?
It was 11 in the morning, or 11:30.
I guess they opened at 11.
So I imagine they just made that fried chicken, put it in the display case.
Yeah,
there's a little humidity.
All right. There was just, I don't know, that whole place, Sebastian. I'm
defending specifically the humidity in the display case, but aside from that, there's not too many redeeming qualities about this place. I walked in, and the place is, it seems like why would you have white tiles and mostly white walls if you're never going to clean the damn place? Because the place is filthy. The seats, even though this place only opened like 3 years ago, maybe, in this location, everything looks like it's been there for fucking 20 years and has had no upkeep whatsoever.
Yeah.
The place looks so ramshackle. It's disgusting and unappealing to eat there. I've very rarely seen more than like one single person there at a time. While we were there, while we were there, ordered our meal, ate our meal. Only 2 other people were there. One got food to go, and one had food sitting there. And I feel like that's part of it. There's only people going there alone because they don't want to be judged for eating this shit.
Yeah, that's true. There was one other guy too. He was delivering light bulbs.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, there was a guy delivering light bulbs who also we overheard while we were waiting for our order. Pretty sure we heard wrong because someone else was placing an order, but it was like, "What, you don't want cat?" I think, and so either it was like, "No, we always use cat. You don't want cat? What is that?" Or it was that he said can, and he was talking about like a can of Pepsi or something. I like to imagine it was cat, though. I think it's more fun to pretend that like cat is part of their usual burger patty, and this like, what, you don't want cat? No cat? I don't know. We'll have to make new patty. But
oh man,
yeah.
there's just so I can't even. I want to describe this place, and I wouldn't even know where to start. Everything. This used to be a place called Rosty's or Roasties.
Yeah, before it was this, it was a chicken place and something else before that. Rosty's was only there for a couple of years. I forget what it was before. It doesn't really matter, but it's this particular location seems to cycle through restaurant tenants relatively quickly.
Yeah. Now Rosty's wasn't much better because I remember.
No, it was much better.
Well,
actually, yeah, it totally was much better.
Oh, the food was good. The actual building was not
place.
great
Yeah.
because it was just this, but 3 years earlier. And
yeah, but you know what? I feel like the seats and the chairs and everything were nicer, and like they kept it cleaner.
Slightly.
Little, yeah.
I mean, yeah, Buffalo Bills definitely took what they had going for them on St. Catherine Street and infected this other place with it.
Yeah.
But I do remember really liking their sweet potato fries at Rosty's.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the first time I ever had sweet potato fries. And I loved them so much. And I was up at work. It takes about 10 minutes to walk down.
Mm-hmm.
And I called ahead. I was like, I'm going to order some sweet potato fries and, some chicken, some rotisserie chicken.
Yeah.
Because I figured I'm going to run down on my break.
Okay.
Run down 5 minutes, grab it, come back up, enjoy, have like 20 minutes, 15 minutes to enjoy this. And I called ahead, said I'd be down in 10 minutes. I ran down, got there. The only guy working there was just standing behind the counter, just slack-jawed, staring ahead at nothing.
Yeah.
Seemingly, there was nothing going on. I walked up to him, he kind of nodded. I was like, hey. He said, hey. Eventually, I thought he was just going to go get my food, but he looked at me for a while, and I was like, I just called for the order. He's like, oh, man, I totally forgot. All right, just give me 15 minutes. I was like, well, that defeats the whole purpose of my
That's why I
trip.
called ahead, so that I wouldn't have to give you 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Did you just say forget it?
No, I waited, but I ruined my break. And I have taken that situation, and it's the same.
Now, Matthew, I want you to pause for a second.
All right.
I want you to clear this bad Rosty memory from your mind, because that bad Rosty memory should not affect Buffalo Bills score.
But if anything, it would bring the score higher because the food was good.
Oh, okay. Either way, I don't think that's fair.
Okay.
Take both parts out of your mind.
All right.
And we're not here to talk about Rosty, even though they occupied the same space before. And I know we talked about Dad's Bagels last week.
We talked about Dad's Bagels like mad.
Well, but they were honoring Dad's Bagels. Buffalo Bills is not honoring Rosty. And why would they?
Yeah, I guess so. And I do...
They were a fly-by-night chicken joint.
The only thing I want to say about Rosty now is perhaps they, given the state of the building, the condition everything was in, decided we need to just stop because this building is not fit for selling food. So they left the place, just abandoned it.
Yeah.
And Buffalo Bill, he's walking around with his cowboy hat or whatever, and
he's just took it over like the Wild West.
Yeah, his 10-gallon hat, and he's like,
Saunter
we need a
down
place
over.
for our chicken. And he's going to sound like Buffalo Bill from
Sure.
Silence of the Lambs, which I always thought was a really weird thing. I'm sure Buffalo Bill's was around before they nicknamed the killer from Silence of the Lambs Buffalo Bill.
Well, there's Buffalo Bill from back in the day from...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But so I don't think it was great marketing for Buffalo Bill's, the restaurant chain, to have this killer who wears other people's skin.
Yeah, probably not.
Skins them. But now that when I picture the mascot, Buffalo Bill, I picture him speaking in a real deep voice.
Like the one on the menu here, this mustachioed man?
Yeah. Strange looking dude.
He looks kind of like a musketeer, actually.
He does. Actually, much more like a musketeer than I remembered.
Than a Buffalo Bill at all.
Yeah.
And he looks like he's blitzed out of his mind. It looks like he's on drugs. His eyes are rolling back in his head. What is going on with this guy? He's a stone musketeer.
There we go. But yeah, so he moves into this place and is like, well, good enough for Buffalo Bill.
Yeah.
And
this stone musketeer doesn't need much. Just some wings. Is it clean in here? Whatever, man.
You made a comment at one point being like, don't inspectors have to come by?
Yeah, I'm wondering about health inspectors, how much they need to be paid off for them to ignore this Buffalo Bills, I mean, maybe they are up to code, but Christ, they must be scraping by. I feel like they do not look like they are up to code.
No, I want to get the description of this place out of the way because there's still a few more things. There was the
walls were dirty.
Everything was dirty. You noticed behind me that I guess they had painted at one point?
Yeah, I guess when they first moved in, they had painted, and this is years ago, but there was still some of that green tape up on like the tiles to protect it from the paint that they just, never bothered to take off, which is, it boggles my mind how years later no one was ever like, well, let me just take that tape off.
Especially when you have no customers and you're just
what are you doing all
there.
day? Just give this whole place during one day where they have basically no customers except one person at a time going like, I guess I'll have some fried chicken and eat in shame alone. Give the place a goddamn scrub down because damn does it ever need it.
Even the food trays that we were eating
the trays were dirty. The tables were wobbly and some of them had like screw holes in them. I don't know what had been screwed into them.
Yeah.
The little banquettes, the booths they had really seen better days. Matthew, when I showed up at Buffalo Bills, I was telling you how I like to be mentally prepared for anything I do. I knew we were going to Buffalo Bills today. I knew that we were going to go to this, shabby restaurant with probably a shabby burger. But we're not burger snobs. We're going out there to try all burgers. Good burgers, bad burgers, everything in between. Because you never know when you'll find a diamond in the rough. Now, I like to be mentally prepared for everything I do. Matthew, I told you I basically broke up with a girl one time because she would like surprise me by dropping by my place and stuff. I was mentally prepared for that.
It kind of seems like a sweet thing. I'm
sure the intention was sweet. Oh, I'm thinking, I want to drop by. I'm like, no, I'm not ready for this.
So wait, did you break up? You broke up with her when she told you she was coming over?
No. It was later. Bother? It wasn't exclusively for that, but it was like that was a key reason, I guess I could say.
Okay. So you need to really mentally prepare yourself for even just a visit.
For anything. Like I was talking to you about how I picked up an extra shift at work.
Yeah.
But I did it a couple days in advance. And that way I could mentally prepare myself. If someone said, hey, can you come into work in an hour? It would take me like 10 minutes to make a decision. To be like, can I mentally adjust to go to work in an hour from now?
What
I'm
do
not
you
just
do?
like throwing, it's just, I'm shifting gears in my mind where it was like, okay, I was planning on like having let's say a nice relaxed evening. I was going to make myself dinner and watch some TV and really take it easy versus like, no, I got to go to work. It's a shift of gears in my mind that like it takes a little time to shift gears.
See, you don't even need to shift these gears because this unannounced thing is like throwing a wrench into the gears.
Yeah.
So the gears stop and you just go with the flow.
Well, no, the gears